every album is like a little world in itself, and you come to the end of it and start something new. But I think every now and again, if you keep going long enough, you come to the end of a much bigger cycle. And that's where I ended up after my last record, Foundling. I knew all the things I didn't want, but I didn't know what it was that I wanted. So this record took a bit of making, because there was a sort of process of elimination that I went through, and then tried to find new ways to work that would refresh my interest in what it was I was doing. I sat down at the piano and I came back off the road, and I just, why write this song? I could feel songs on some miserable thing was going to happen, and and the thoughts I was having, the ideas I was having, like the entire sort of angle of attack, I was just bored of myself in that way. I realized I just needed to die and be reborn. It was nothing less than that, really, which is obviously a little bit of a challenge. It's not the sort of thing you can just will on yourself. You have to just go forward and try choosing the paths that you haven't taken. So this record is very much about not knowing, choosing the not known over the known. So yeah, it was, the whole thing was quite an experience in that way. And as I say, choosing from the writing process onwards, then through the recording process, to try and look for ways, a new path to the waterfall, as Raymond Carver says, and that's the expression I often use, a new way to get there, basically. I think I write all the time, so I continued to write in the studio. Once Andy Barlow became involved, he very much wanted to focus on the music he sensed we could break open in a new way. And when songs have been written and formed and seem to have an identity, it's much harder to pick them up and, without doing it in a corny way, turn them into something completely different. That process takes time, so it's sometimes a lot easier to take something fresh where even I, as the writer, don't quite know where it's going yet, and then there's a space there to maybe hollow it out a bit and find a new way to express it. But so he tended towards trying the unknown, and there was several songs that were written in the studio, Beautiful Agony and Mutineers being the most sort of prominent ones. That was where the process really was. It was Andy's call. He pushed me into them. I began by frowning hard. I frowned hard for a few hours, and then as we started to see some daylight, I forgot about my worries and just rushed into this new thing. So new vistas broke open at key moments. And both those tracks were that. That was a giant leap forward for myself and Andy in a creative sense, because I was in sort of mortal agony, having a stack of material which I wanted to work through, and he refused to sort of go there and pushed me towards working on embryonic things. But it was a very good move. For me, the crucial thing is time as well, how long someone's got to give and how much they want to give to a project. What I needed was someone to turn what I was doing on its head, really get into it with me, and Andy was that guy, a courageous guy. He was, he took me on creatively in a way that no one ever has before.